There are numerous factors that contributed to the Beatles' dissolution by 1970. It was obvious that John Lennon and Paul McCartney no longer agreed on many things. When John and Paul almost got into a fight while recording the White Album, 1968, everyone knew there were significant issues. The same might be said about a different day in 1968 when Ringo quit the group and left the country, or when George Harrison chose to leave the band and concentrate on his solo music early the following year. In a nutshell, the Beatles' final years as a group were frequently a shambles. However, the band managed to stay together and record the songs for their adored last albums, such as Abbey Road and Let It Be. According to what John Lennon said following the split, the issues started soon after the band's manager Brian Epstein died in August 1967. From that moment on, he was able to recognize the end approaching. John claimed that the Beatles collapsed and broke up then, following Epstein's passing. At his London residence, Epstein accidentally overdosed on drugs, sleeping pills. The band members were in Wales at the time to attend lectures by the well-known Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. In a 1970 interview with Rolling Stone, John Lennon recalled how the news that day had left him shaken. Lennon was unable to heed the Maharishi's counsel to the Fab Four to remember their late manager and mentor in a positive way. He said to Jan Wenner, "I was stunned. I don't know whether you've had it, but I've had a lot of people die around me, and the other feeling is, what can I do?" Professionally speaking, the band lost the man who pushed them from Liverpool's bottom to the top of the music business. "I knew that we were in trouble then," John stated. "I didn't really have any misconceptions about our ability to do anything other than play music. I was scared. I thought, we fucking had it." After the White Album, he had been convinced, "We broke up then." John addressed Epstein's passing. The loss of Brian Epstein left a leadership void that the Beatles were unable to fill. Epstein's departure and the lack of a suitable replacement also meant that someone inside the group would have to assume leadership of the situation. Most of these responsibilities fell to Paul McCartney. That, in John's opinion, caused the dissolution of the band. John Lennon said, "Paul took over and supposedly led us. But what is leading us when we went round in circles? That was the disintegration." After 1967, Epstein was no longer able to smooth over their differences or push them toward agreement. Also, he was unable to ask sound engineer Jeff Emmerich or producer George Martin to try to prevent conflicts as heated as the ones Paul and John had while recording Obladi Oblada. So, certainly, things would have been different if Brian had been alive. John informed his bandmates that he was leaving the group 2 years after Epstein's passing. McCartney followed in April 1970, and each member immediately began their individual careers that same year.
Hello.
That was Ringo, folks.
Well, what can I say?
And goodbye to all of them.
Well, this is Ringo. Everyone seems to have said everything here, so I'll just sign off by saying cheerio and best of luck from the Beatles.